Good morning. It is an honor to be here, and I would just echo what Coach Saban said. Really appreciate Bill and Michael Kelly and all of the CFP staff. I know we got a ton of volunteers here that come from all over the country, I'm learning, as they really pull all the logistics of this thing together, and they've done a phenomenal job. It's been a great, experience, starting with the semifinal in the Orange Bowl. But this has been, great for our program, great for our team. This was our goal, was to have the opportunity to compete at the highest level. And, not only are we getting a chance to do that, but we're getting a chance to play, the University of Alabama, which, to me, has been the standard in college football for a long time. But certainly since Coach Saban has been there, they've just been incredibly consistent. And, so to me, this is the way it ought to be. I am very proud of our team. To go 14-0 is really difficult to do. And for these guys to rise up and accept every challenge and get themselves ready each and every week is a great compliment to our team. But same thing to Alabama. For them to win their league and put another year together like they have, and their fourth national championship appearance in 7 years, can't congratulate them enough. So we're excited about it, looking forward to it, and won't be long now.
Got a number of juniors weighing their NFL futures. Would you say all of them have handled this whole weight pretty well, and then how quickly do you anticipate much of those decisions?
Oh, yeah. And I pretty much know what everybody's going to do already. It's one of the things that I don't like the timing of all that stuff, but, it is what it is, so no sense in acting like it's not there. So they're focused on the game. I think all these guys understand that, they have a tremendous opportunity, and they've done a nice job of focusing on getting themselves ready, but I think decisions or announcements or whatever, tweets, whatever they do will be pretty quick when the game is over.
Could I make a comment about that? Because I'm going to call Dabo after the game. And last year, after our game against Ohio State, I tried to develop a little energy from college coaches who had players that are in this situation that you just asked him about. And the NFL moved the draft back. I wish they'd move the declare date back. I wish they'd make a rule that says you can't even give a player what his draft status is from the NFL committee until they finish their competition as a college player, so that you don't put them and their family in this situation where there's a big timing issue relative to competition. Now, if you finished your season on December the 6th, you can make a decision. If you're finishing it on January 11th, then you get the information after that, but you have a significant amount of time to make that decision when you finish playing, so you can stay focused on what you need to do to play well, because it benefits all these players to play well in the game.
Yeah, there's no doubt. It's a distraction that all of us have to deal with. Obviously, it's just two of us left at this point. You get the grades, and some guys, they didn't get the grade that they want, so they're pouting a little bit and got to pick themselves up. Then you get the guy that gets the grade he wants, and so it's just, I agree. I echo that 100%. It really should be when the season is over, whenever that is, and they should hold those things. But that's the system we're dealing with right now.
Stamina-wise, going into a 15th game, and can you imagine having to play one more to win the national championship?
Well, I think we're in as good a shape as you can be. I think the schedule has set up well for us we finished the season playing 10 in a row, and the last stretch of that was a challenge because this is obviously a physical game, and it's mentally taxing, and the balance of school and all those things mount up. But our guys did as good a job as they could handling that. We had the extra game with the championship game, but I thought we managed things well, getting ready for the bowl game. We were able to really get our team physically and mentally and emotionally kind of, geared back up. And I think the timing of this has been excellent because it's almost like we got ready for the opener again, because you had a little more time than you normally do. And this is kind of the next game from a prep standpoint. Had a couple extra days. But I think it's good as it can be. But it certainly is a long season, and our guys are ready to go.
Well, I think that, as a coach, you certainly acknowledge the fact that your players are going into the 15th game of the season, and I think you have to respect that, in every way, and you try to get people not to focus on necessarily how they feel, but to make decisions about what they need to do to continue to play well. After coaching in the NFL, where you play a 16-game season, if you get in the playoffs at 17, 18 games, whatever, I think that, you kind of try to get the players to focus on doing the things that they need to do to accomplish their goals and not focus so much on how they feel, because I do think it's a long season for them. They are young players, but our guys have done a really good job of sort of using the rest time that they have, that when we are practicing and preparing, their focus has been good.
We're going to stay in the back center of the room.
Kirk Bowles from the Austin American-Statesman for Dabo. I was curious when you fell in love with acronyms, and if Clemson fans send you any suggestions, and do you have a new one ready for tomorrow?
Well, I've got a few acronyms, but to me, that's just something I've done my whole life. When I was in school, that was just a way that I would learn, kind of helped me to bring life to what I was trying to learn at the time. And I love words. I think that there's power in certain words, and sometimes you can take a word like best, and what does that mean? And then I'll kind of bring it to life, and I'll define it for the team sometimes with an acronym, and that's it. But I don't have anything new for this one.
We're going to stay over to your left, coaches, in the second row.
Coach Swinney, Cecil Hurt from the Tuscaloosa News. You went through this as a player, at least certainly a comparable situation in which you were really more of an underdog against Miami than Clemson's a slight underdog, I guess, tomorrow. But what, in the build-up to that, when you were in New Orleans, anything you learned, anything that carries over to this preparation?
Well, I think the biggest thing is you just can't, that stuff really doesn't matter. I mean, it's truly how you play the game, and how you play the game is a direct reflection of how you prepare, how you think. That's really what matters. And that particular team that year, I think one of the things that I thought gave us an edge, we were, I think, about a 13 or 13.5 point underdog going into that game. But that was the first year that we had the SEC championship. And I remember it vividly because Coach Stallings was not happy because, I guess we were 11-0 at the time. We played 11 games. And we got to go play this extra game called the SEC Championship that nobody else in the country had. And we're playing the Gators and Coach Spurrier and the Fun and Gun and all that. Were pretty good. And Miami's sitting at the house just hanging out. #1 team in the country and Heisman Trophy winner. But I really thought that game gave us a little bit of an edge because of how we had to get ready again. And then you win that game, and you are 12-0, and you just beat Florida. I thought it just kind of solidified that mentality of, let's get this done. And I thought our week of preparation in New Orleans was tremendous, and we just didn't get distracted by all the stuff this really doesn't pertain to how you play the game, And we had a great plan. We executed the plan very well. And that's really what it comes down to, all that. There was two great teams, and it's always about the same things. It's turnovers, it's winning your individual matchups, it's big plays and special teams. I mean, these are the same thing tomorrow night. These are two great teams that have, they weren't picked to be here. They earned their way here, and it'll come down to those same things. Very small margin for error.
again, get your hands up and we'll get as many questions as we can. We're going to go over to the far left for you guys coaches and about the third row on the aisle.
Pete Yakabelli, Associated Press. Dabo, is there any update on Shaq's status, and do you and he still plan to have him out there tomorrow?
Yeah, we expect him to play. Hopefully he'll be able to perform and play to the level that we all know he can. But, if not, they're not going to, I don't think Coach Saban's going to cancel the game over there. We're going to have to keep playing, so we'll put the next guy in there. So that's just the way it is. But we expect him to play, and he looked good yesterday. But, again, until you get out there and you're playing in a game of this magnitude with the intensity and physicality, you never know. But he's done everything that he needs to do to play the game.
Middle section to your right, Ivan.
Ivan Mazel, ESPN.com. Dabo, I don't know whether you hear from your college teammates under normal circumstances. Are you blocking their calls? What sort of reaction are you getting from them?
No, I hear from, that's, to speak to what Cecil said a minute ago, that's really the reason we won the national championship in '92. And you got to remember, it was a different Alabama than what it is with Coach Saban now. It's been a long time since Alabama had won a national championship, been since the 70s when we won it in '92. So that was like an eternity for Alabama. And, but our team had such a great, respect and appreciation for one another. We had a great chemistry and leadership, and guys really loved one another. And the reason that we won the national championship in '92 is still alive and well today. And that's the relationships that we had as a team. I hear from all those guys all the time. Tons of those guys come up to Clemson games, and I've been at Clemson for 13 years, so I've got guys that bring their kids to camp. We're friends. These are deep relationships that go back, to when you're 18, 19 years old. And that doesn't change just because everybody kind of goes their separate ways. But it's been special. It's been really fun. I've had a lot of fun. I've had some that, been giving me a hard time, like little Mark McMillan, who lives out here in Arizona now. But I've heard from lots of people, and, they all wish us well. And, everybody is pulling for a great game. And so I appreciate their support.